check, mic check. This is Kult Classic interview number 30, and I'm here with Yung Bambi.
Yo, what's good? What's good? It's Yung Bambi here.
So, off the rip, one thing I've always been curious about, and I know this might seem like a cliche question, but the name and the whole the whole deer aesthetic.
My biological mom, she inspired me to do my music and shit, and sadly she passed away when I was younger, when I was 7. You know what I'm saying? I have my several adopted parents now. Shout out all them. But anyway, like one of my homies, he gave me the nickname because Bambi, his mom dies like in the story, so he just was like Young Bambi. And I started rapping. That's just what I use. So that's the death of a mother aesthetic, like that all comes from that. Like,
damn. Well, shit. Fuck it.
No, I know.
We just start off with something that's so
deep,
dark.
But shout out my mom. Like she was a music professor. Like she taught me violin. She taught me.
Shout outs to your mom.
So
coming up, do you feel like moments like that really inspired you to go harder? It really inspired your music?
Yeah, like for sure. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like she raised me on like the Beatles, Bob Marley, and like ABBA. You know what I'm saying? She was really good at her craft. Like published musicians. You know what I'm saying? Like just in my family.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like to that standard, like I hold myself to a really high level with my music and like critiquing myself. Like, like she definitely like inspires like pretty much all my musical shit. Like 100%.
Definitely. So your mom really.
Really big.
Really laid put the blueprints together for you. So what was she really listening to? Like, what were you really listening to growing up? Like, what was she really playing?
Damn, like really like good, like very like complex music, like but happy music stuff like Bob Marley, ABBA, the Beatles, shit like that, like a lot of old pop music. Like I didn't really like listen to hip hop music growing up. A lot of South African music. Like I was actually born in South Africa. So
word?
Yeah, I was born in Durban on the coast. So I listened to a lot of South African music, Zimbabwean music, growing up too. So that mixed with like a lot of London stuff. So I was born in South Africa. I moved to London when I was 1. I lived there for 10 years, and then I moved to the States. So I didn't really listen to no hip hop until I was in high school for real. Musical influence was super weird, like when I was a kid.
Damn, so you were really kind of all over the place with the music.
No,
like
for real.
And that was really what your kind of duty, what your mom was playing, and then what you were really just kind of hearing growing up as a kid.
Yeah, like really, like I listened to like grime before I listened to American hip hop.
Yeah.
Like growing up in England, like North London, like shit like Dizzy Rascal, like all that shit. Like that's what I was listening to more. You know what I'm saying? And when I moved to the States, I got like Kanye was really big in the UK.
Yeah.
And then 50 Cent was really big. Like Get Rich or Die Trying was the first CD I ever bought. And like he was huge in the UK. Like 50 Cent was popping. But he was really the only one that got big over there, like for real. Until recently, like
until you talk about he's the only one who got big in the UK.
Yeah, like 50 Cent was so big in Europe. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Wild. Like, yeah, it was weird, bro. Like, but like other rappers that were popping at the time did not make that bridge. But I remember like 50 Cent, like everyone wanted to like be like 50. Like, oh, this nigga got shot a bunch of times and he survived. You know, it's the UK. We didn't even have no guns, bro. So we like, oh, this nigga got shot a bunch of times. He survived. Like, we gotta buy his album and shit. Like,
damn. That's wild because like the UK, like from what I've seen and noticed, they kind of got a real alternative sound. Like they're like a lot of the dance music more than anything else. So it's like I would expect someone like you said Kanye kind of got big over there, which I expected, but someone like 50,
that was just like 50. I think in a lot of aspects was like the first like international rapper. Like you know what I'm saying? Like at the time, like he like did a lot for music and was doing these worldwide tours where like other rappers weren't. You know what I'm saying? He was big even in places like Spain, bro. Like Get Rich or Die Trying went like #1. You know what I'm saying? In places where like hip hop wasn't a thing. He had that international swag. People fucked with it.
I remember that era growing up because we're about the same age. I'm like a year older than you, maybe.
I'm 23.
Yeah, like I remember that whole era where 50 Cent was really coming up like crazy, but like I didn't expect him like outside of the States to really be doing that. I guess that's like when you're younger, like especially I mean maybe growing up in the States, your world is so much smaller, so I guess you kind of don't think of it that way, you know?
Yeah, it was cool. Like he blew up, had his thing, kind of died. Like, but yeah, 50 was popping. Bro, in the club was popping. Many One was popping. Like PIMP, like huge song in the UK, like huge.
Yeah, and I remember when I was DJing and shit, like those songs in the club, like when I played them in the club, it would still go up. It's guaranteed,
still, bro,
guaranteed,
it's
still in 2020,
bro. Like nigga, you play in the club, you want to hear like go,
guaranteed,
crazy, like
guarantee. But like that definitely like is one thing I'm noticing with a lot of the newer artists that are coming up. They have such a wide variety of influences.
Yeah.
Like you influenced by so much different music, like from different countries. That's something like I haven't really seen from doing most interviews and stuff. Mostly it's just like, oh, I love rock, I love such and such, I love punk, I love, hip hop, I love rap, I love, drill, I love alternative and dance and stuff. But you got like a lot of international music that influenced you, so that's one thing that's dope. But like, yeah, a lot of these younger artists, they're influenced by everything, and that's one thing I do love about this generation, and especially like your music is like you're doing a hard track, one song, and then like next song you're doing something more melodic, like shit, I'm drawing a blank. What was your 2019 album?
Oh, the Prince of the Forest.
Yes, the Prince of the Forest. I was gonna say, I don't want to say Prince of a Mother for some reason. Yeah, Prince of a Forest it was more melodic. You didn't have anything really hard on there.
Yeah, it's like the only rap part is Swerzy's verse on
Yeah.
Chess. That's like the only rap part on the whole project. Like,
yeah. Are you kind of gonna continue to go with that sound going into 2020? Are you dropping any projects 2020? I don't want to assume anything, 'cause you put out a bunch of singles this year.
Yeah, I be you know me, bro.
No projects.
Like, I be like in my drop mode, and I'll drop a bunch of shit for like 6 months, and then I won't drop shit for like a while. So I actually have 3 projects I'm gonna drop before the year ends. Because I only dropped 1 project this year. I haven't dropped a lot.
Yeah.
But I've been working on me and Kami's project, Ducks on Fire. So that's
word?
that's done. So like we're gonna start rolling that out at the end of this month. And then I have this project called Lamb Music, and that's kind of crazy. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I have a lot, bro. Like, I be weird about dropping music. You know what I'm saying? I be super weird about it, but I like to take my time. I like to hold myself to musical standard. I know Cat, bro. I like to work on a project for 2 years. Like Prince of Forest.
Yeah.
Prince of Forest, I recorded December 2017 in 2 days. And
Okay.
Then, I spent a year plus mixing it, touching up on it, and then I dropped it, whatever, April 2019.
So the recording and writing process took 2 days? Like the beat selection, everything?
Christmas 2017 and the day after Christmas 2017.
So it was like
Everything,
beat selection,
everything, bro. Like, it was just like a
damn
moment. Like, I told my niggas, I was like, send me beats. And like, I got a beat for Last Year I'm Fine. 8MC sent me the beat for Everest. Come down. Like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and Downtime dropped the beat for Stress on SoundCloud, like, the day after Christmas. It just really was like this 2-day compartment. And I made it, and I was like, whoa, like, this is crazy. And that was like the first music that I made that I was like, oh, I like this. Swear to God. Like, I've been making music for years, and it was cool, and it was fun. Like, it was super fun or whatever. But I didn't listen to any of my shit. Like, Dog Year 1 was cool, and like, I played it at shows, but I didn't listen to it by myself. Yeah. And then Prince of Forest was the first music where I was like, oh, okay. Like, this is music that I made for myself, and I really liked it. And it's really good. Like, I don't know. Like, I wasn't going to drop it.
The Prince of the Forest?
Yeah. Like, I just made this, and I was like, this is really for myself.
Wait, you feel like it's so, like, out? You feel like
it was so,
out
yeah,
there
it was so, like, to the
else?
left.
Because, like, the Dog Deer projects are a lot. Well, there's some
they're
softer shit
they're
on there,
hard.
but mostly
hard. Like,
hard, you know what I mean? Like, those collab... Okay, I'm not familiar. Those collab projects... Because I'm not familiar. I saw another. Because I'm not familiar with Hounds.
Yeah, so he's like a producer. That's like day one homie. Like, that was the first nigga I ever met on the internet.
Okay.
Him, Kurosu, Downtime. Shout out all them 3. First niggas I ever linked with on the internet, like 2012 in high school, just on like EDM trap Facebook forums and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We used to produce together, make beats together when I was in high school, and I started rapping. And he was like, all right, well, let me send you beats. Shout out Hounds.
That's another thing I love about 2020 and what's going on in music is collab projects between like producers and artists, and like, you know what I mean, artists and producers. Like you say, we can cut this out because I don't remember if you told me you didn't want to announce this yet. The one with Kamiyata.
Yeah, like that's coming out. That one's coming out. That's cool to say. Yeah, like that's coming out, and then me and Mason
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, I
And
like.
But then you and Hounds, like that collab. Those
Yeah,
two collab
like, so,
projects,
yeah.
the Dog Deer projects, and then like Kamiata 83 Hades just dropped. Like stuff like that, I think is fire. Like I
Yeah.
love like that. A lot of 2020 music and a lot of careers are built off like collaboration, and you're seeing so many different viewpoints and like, you know what I mean, sounds come together to create something new.
Yeah.
It's like, it's wild. That's one of my favorite things about just what's going on right now in general.
No, I agree. Like, I think that's the thing too. I love working with different people on music. Like, I love like mixing people's music. Like, like really like, cause even like niggas be sending me beats, bro. I don't even use half of them, bro. Like, I be placing them with other artists. Like,
Yeah.
if they just come through, whatever. Like, I fuck with that super heavy. Like, even when I used to be like more into throwing shows, like I really like love the idea of like bringing people together and stuff. And like that's what I like about Prince of the Forest. Like, that was a super collaborative project. Like, I think I only have like 2 solo songs.
Yeah.
There, you know what I'm saying? And then like we did it, and Mason did all like the post production shit with the outros, and like that shit's super fun to me. Like, yeah, it's that shit's like super lit that you can just do that in 2020. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, and like now that niggas be having like more bread, like it's a lot easier for us to travel and like link in person. Like, we used to do everything over the internet. You know what I'm saying? But now we kind of have the money and the resources and stuff to like link in person and make the music like that.
That's kind of fire how that happened. So you guys, you meet a lot of these guys over the internet as well?
Yeah, like I have like me and the Midnight Guys linked up out here in like 2017. And then I have like all my Texas people, and then like there's definitely been a lot of niggas that like I met over internet, and then we linked like 83 like hit up Uno, like our homie Uno from Pluto, and he came to like, our New York show, and like that's how we met him. And so a bunch of other niggas just like from Twitter and IG and shit, like if they're in LA, like those pull up or link up and shit somewhere. Some niggas be cool, some niggas be weird, like, it is what it is. Like,
especially when you meet somebody for the first time that you met over the internet, they might not be like how they seem like online.
Nah, for sure. Like there been some niggas that like it been cool, and some niggas I be in the room with for 5 minutes. Like I dip off or something, like it be weird.
So you've made music with a lot of different people, Kamiyata, A3 Hades, Zodiac, just being a few. Yeah. Like, do you prefer collaborating or solo tracks? Because Prince of the Forest was, for the most part, like we said, a solo album and the music you made for yourself.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. Like, to me, again, like I didn't grow up on rap music at all, so this idea of like the one person having to like write it and like do all that, like, bro, I just give a fuck whether it sounds good. Like, to be honest, like the type of music I grew up on, it just sounded good. Yeah, and like it was good. It didn't matter. Product. Yeah, like exactly. Like, I'm a very much about the final product person. I don't see as I said, like I have a project I'm finna drop that has no features on it. Like, I don't really like care. Like, I don't take pride in that. Yeah, I love like putting a bunch of people on a song. Like, even with the song I showed you with David Shorty, like I was like, oh, let me get this like like auto-tune singing nigga and like put on a drill beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, and see how it sounds. I like doing that with people. I like putting people in like unexpected musical situations, but like making it work. Yeah. More so than I care about like, oh, like let me rap the hardest verse, like the hardest hook. Like, I definitely like working with people together. But at the same time, like with the projects I'm gonna finna drop, the fact that it does have no features on it, like it is super personal to me. You know what I'm saying? And I think that definitely like carries weight. Like when people will hear it though, like definitely hear that. Yeah. Like there's a side of it that's really like this is
more like an extension of yourself.
Yeah, rather than like being like bring someone else on the track or whatever.
So let's backtrack a little bit more into like your story. When did you come over to the United States again? How old were you?
So I was 10 or 11. It was like the day before 6th grade. Like, so yeah, so it was like my mother passed away. I went to foster care, and then my foster parents adopted me. So my foster parents, my adopted parents, my mom's American and my dad's English. So then we moved to Boston, like the day before 6th grade, and then I was in Boston, and then I moved to Texas, and then was in Texas for like 4 years, and then moved out here.
So what was that transition like? Changing like school. You went to American school.
Yeah,
like a whole new country.
It was weird. Like where I lived in England was like North London. Like it was like kind of like just like very inner city London, you know what I'm seeing? Like even if you see like kind of like drill shit, like that's kind of what it was like and like the hood in England looks super different than the hood in America. Like I'm not even gonna compare them, like, but you know, but like that's just what it was on. Then I moved to Boston, which was like super like liberal white city, bro. Like for real, like, and especially like where we were living in the burbs, like I was like, this is weird. And I was like, oh, this is how all of America is. So, like, I was in Boston the whole time I was in Boston. I was like, yo, I'm finna graduate and move back to England because I was like, this place is fucking weird, bro. Like, fuck Boston, weird-ass place. And then I graduated and moved to Texas, and I, like, just instantly fell in love with it. Like, I was like, I love it here. I fuck with the people. I fuck with the vibe. Like, it's cheap. And it's just, niggas show me mad love there. Like, you know, I like, there's no rap scene in Boston. None, bro. Like I can name like 3 rappers from Boston for real. Like Cousin Stiz, Michael Christmas, and Pistola, and like my homie Chef Courage. But like really on some like name shit, like those are the only 3.
Yeah, I grew up in that area, bro, and that's kind of like I grew up like about 40 minutes north of Boston. Okay. And like so it's like that's kind of why I moved down to the Charlotte area because it's like
not shit,
for music,
bro.
It's not really
no rap scene, bro.
Unfortunately, it's just not really happening. The people that I found just aren't really up to par. But like I've heard people lately up there. And it's kind of starting to pop now, finally, but it's just like I had to get to somewhere bigger.
Yeah, like, and I was thinking, even people thought Cousin Stiz was gonna like be the one, you know what I'm saying, like blow up out of Boston. He did his thing, it was cool, but there was not enough people in that sound that like were able to make that like a Boston sound. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's true. I love Stiz. Like I still listen to Stiz to this day. Like,
Suffolk County. Yeah, like that's
my
just
shit,
hard,
bro. There's so many classics on there for
like
me.
No Bells,
that shit hits.
Like shit like that is tough for real.
No Exclamation.
Yeah.
Fucking Dumb Dope, Fresh Prince. Like everything on that project was so fire.
No, he's tough for real. I fuck with Stiz, but like I moved to San Antonio. I started working on a scene in San Antonio. I really fuck with it, man. Like San Antonio really showed me more love than like any city. Like San Antonio and Austin both. You know what I'm saying? Like I like me and Kwame like did Mala Luna there, which is like their main festival, and that shit was lit. Done like a bunch of shows there. And then when I went to Austin, I went to college for a year. I went to University of Texas at Austin for a year, and that was lit, bro. Like I went to college and I was like, damn, I'm probably not going to be here for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? It's like how the music was going, but I kind of needed like time to kill.
Yeah,
so
I
was
feel
like,
you.
okay, like let me just go to college.
Promote yourself out there. You know what I mean? Get some fans.
We turned it up. Like we turned it up, bro. Like we would throw in these parties called First Friday, and we would throw them on the first Friday every month, and it would be like, bro, like 300 college kids in like a house turn, and like we would go out there, like niggas, we like had Swersy come out for one, like my homie Suave, my homies NHL in Austin performed on a bunch. It's lit, bro. Like we made bread, and like we had hella college fans, bro. Like we would be in Austin, it was buzzing. We would do the frat shows out there. Yeah, it was super lit.
So from backtracking again, you moved to Boston. You said day before 6th grade. Yeah. When did you move to Texas? How long after?
Right after I graduated high school.
So you were in Boston for a grip.
A grip, bro. Like that. It's weird because, like, looking back, it doesn't feel that long. But yeah, bro. Like, really. So I went to middle school, and then I went to this, like, arts high school. And, like, that shit was weird as fuck. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, again, like, the only people, like, you know Warren Lotus? The designer. He, like, makes clothes. Like, he like, went to my high school. Shout out him. He was cool. Like, I have a couple other people that were there. But it was, again, just, like, super... It was like rich granola kids. It was like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like niggas who like had hella money but like try to act like they didn't have money. Yeah. And I just was like, bro, like y'all are really weird. Like I don't know, that just wasn't my scene. I was just there because whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like,
when did you start making music then?
So I played violin and piano when I was younger.
Okay.
And then, but like when my mom passed away, I stopped. But I kept listening to music. I got back in the piano in the middle school. Freshman year, I bought a MacBook and I started making beats. Well, not making beats. I was making like EDM, bro. Like I was making like drum and bass and like house and like dubstep and shit. And then I started making like hard trap music. You know, like EDM trap music. The shit that was popping in like 2013, like Coochie and shit. Then I started making rap beats, and I started rapping end of 2015. Like right when I left high school, I started rapping. For real. And that shit, it was cool. You worked on it for a little bit. Probably took it more seriously like 2016. 2016 is when I made the switch to like stop producing and just do rapping.
Yeah. So you were really coming out hard as a producer when you entered like freshman year of high school.
Yeah, like that's what I was gonna do, and then I was gonna go to Berkeley College of Music for like their music production course, but then I just was like, I don't really know if this is what I want to do. Like,
so let's like, how do you feel about like music school in general now, looking back on it as somebody who's actually started to make a way?
Super glad I didn't go.
Super glad I
didn't go. To be like, I'm gonna keep it like 100, and I think you ask any engineer or okay, like to me, you can learn anything that you need to learn off the internet.
Yeah.
The only perk to going to college is to give you a piece of paper to be like certifiable to be employed. And so my whole thing is like, if you're not trying to get a job like that, you know what I'm saying, then there's no reason to go to college. And most engineers have said like, it's way better to go work with someone you believe in, get some real credits in the world, and then go to a studio and be like, yo, I have this real shit on paper. Then like, oh, I went and I took this course. Yeah, like as someone specifically like who engineers, which is like what most people go to school to, like go to school to learn. The only way you get better is just by doing it for real.
Yeah, that's facts. Because I see a lot of people looking to go to music school and shit, and it's just like, I'm not knocking what anybody wants to do, but I'm just kind of like, from what I've seen, most people who are starting to make it in music now just have that organic talent and they figure it out themselves. Like most of the successful artists are, you know what I mean, doing it in their rooms.
Yeah, it's really like a mindset, bro. Like I was doing my music shit in San Antonio, and I came out to LA and I linked with these niggas, and I was really like, oh, like y'all get it. Like, and it's just a matter of like getting it, bro. Like there's hella people on me who are talented or whatever, but they just don't have like the push, bro. Like, and you really need that push. And like, you know, if you have that, bro, like you can just do it. Like you can really just do it.
Yeah.
You have that, just believe in yourself. Like you can really just do it. Like if I can do it, you surely can. Like there's people ask all the time, like they're like, how'd y'all do it, bro? Like what's the formula? And I'm just like, bro, like there's just taking like seeing opportunities when they present themselves.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I feel like there's like the it factor too that a lot of people talk about. Like I feel like you just kind of have it. Yeah, like there's something about you that just fits. Like if I started rapping, it would never work. It just wouldn't work. I'm not a rapper. Like I know that. You know what I mean? It's just like that's not my lane, and I feel like certain people are just built for certain things. Like if I ever wanted to start like playing basketball, if I'm like, yo, I want to be an NBA player, it's just not gonna happen, bro. Yeah, like you know,
same for me too. I can't. I'll be trash at sport. I'll be unathletic as hell.
Like I feel like certain people just have it, quote unquote, and certain people just don't. Like, and a lot of that is just talent. Like, there's a certain like, I guess, persona about, you know what I mean, people that tend to stand out a little more. You know what I mean? Have some unique qualities about them.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I definitely think the it factor is like very important. But I think what's also dope about, at least how I make music, and I think a lot of bigger people make music, is like, even if you're not like, even if you're super talented, you don't have the it factor, like the on stage factor, the in front of the camera factor. Like, you can always write songs with people.
Yeah, you know, there's still a lane for you now. You can
still
connect. Like,
for
you
sure.
know what I mean?
Like,
having like, that's not a lot. That's a lot of things people don't understand. Having Instagram followers is not that important.
Nah, bro, I hate Instagram, bro. Like, if I did not have a reason to have an Instagram, like, I would be a pretty off the grid nigga. Like, I fuck with Twitter and shit, but like, I don't like how I don't even like how my picture taken that much, like all that shit. Like, so. Yeah,
I feel you.
Like niggas who are just songwriters and shit, they be chilling making a bag. Like, they be chilling making a bag, bro. No one knows who they are, but fuck it. Like,
people just sit behind the scenes and make beats. Like, a lot of the producers, like some of the big songs, we never heard their names, seen their face.
Exactly.
But they're rich as hell, doing what they want to do. You know what I mean?
Nah, for real.
So we're probably gonna wrap up part one. I got a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
Do a little part two type. So yeah, that's part one. It's called Classic Interview number 30 with Yung Bambi. Check us out online at kultclassicofficial.com. We got merch dropping very soon. It might even be out by the time this interview comes out. Follow us on Instagram at kultclassicofficial, and then on Twitter kultclassicoff, and we're on TikTok now too, so go hit us on there. And follow me at Bobby Dee on the beat, at BOBBYDE on the beat. And you want to give your information?
Yeah, Yung Bambi at Death Row Mother on IG, at Bambo Go Rambo on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? It's Yung Bambi on all the streaming services. Appreciate it. Shout out Kult Classic.
All right, bro. Part 2 coming up right now.